Batman v Superman is a waste of your time. The movie relies on convenience to make its villains seem smart and character assassinates both Batman and Superman to a horrendous degree, writing them extremely out of character. This movie is probably the worst movie that involves Batman and Superman together. It's definitely in like the bottom five. Before I begin this review, I will be giving some context for the movie. If you don't need it, or if you already know the context, you can already skip using the timestamps I put in the description. Welcome to part 2 of my DCEU movie reviews miniseries, where, as the title suggests, I give my opinions on all 15 DCEU movies. I'll cover each movie in its own episode, then a 16th episode where I rank them on a tier list. Unlike Man of Steel, there's not much context that's needed for this movie. Back in 2013, DC started the cinematic universe with Man of Steel. Seeing the success, they announced Batman v Superman in 2014, pivoting from originally having Man of Steel be part of the Dark Knight trilogy to being its own cinematic universe. Ben Affleck was cast as Batman, his first role as a comic book hero since 2003's Daredevil, which is insane to think about. So, ladies and gents, this is my review on similar to what I did with my Man of Steel review. I'll start with the positives because, in truth, there's not that many. Ben Affleck was really good in this movie, a perfect casting for Bruce Wayne. Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL's soundtrack was incredible, and Henry Cavill was also decent. Okay, that's the positives out of the way. Let's get on to the negatives. The first one I'll get out of the way is Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I'm not gonna go into detail about that. The movie was heavily inspired by The Dark Knight Returns and Death of Superman comics, and by heavily inspired by The Dark Knight Returns, I mean the director and writer probably skimmed through the comic. And when I say that it's inspired by Death of Superman, it's because that Superman dies at the end of the movie. That's it. The reason why I'm claiming the writers and directors of this movie did not actually read the comic is because of one thing: Batman does not kill. In The Dark Knight Returns, Batman does not kill a single time. Yes, he used a gun, not to kill, but to intimidate. Let's not forget, in the same comic, he destroyed a gun and said, "This is the weapon of the enemy. We do not need it. We will not use it." We start the movie with Bruce Wayne arriving at Metropolis and calls someone named Jack and orders him to evacuate the people, implying that they didn't already start evacuating the building before Bruce made the call. Why didn't this guy begin the evacuations himself? Why did he have to wait for Bruce to make the order? This person is likely a manager of someone with a high position that has authority over people, so why hasn't he given the order to his employees to evacuate when they saw the danger? Also, why doesn't he go with them? Why does he stay in the building? It doesn't look like it's impossible to escape since the office was cleared in a few seconds. He could have easily made an escape. Instead, he stands there and prays. Now, I get praying during hard times, but you can always pray and run for your life. This looks like a suicide more than anything. We then cut to Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen being a CIA agent and being killed off is weird. Jimmy is not the reporter that's friends with Lois and Clark, and he's not Superman's best pal for some reason. Also, these terrorists kill a bunch of people to frame Superman using guns? Why would this work? Superman has been a public figure for some time now. Surely people know that Superman doesn't use or doesn't need to use any guns. So why would this work? Later on, Bruce gets invited to Lex Luthor's party. He goes on and has a chat with Clark Kent. Then Lex Luthor gets all giddy and excited about Bruce Wayne meeting Clark Kent. Why does that happen? Well, it's because that Lex Luthor knows that Bruce is Batman and that Clark Kent is Superman. Which brings me to another point in this review. Why is Lex like this? Lex Luthor doesn't even feel like Lex Luthor. He's not this intelligent billionaire that is an opposing foe to Superman. He's more similar to Riddler or Joker than Lex Luthor, in terms of behavior at least. The movie doesn't provide any explanation as to why Lex does certain things, or how he knows certain things, or how things conveniently go his way. How does he know Batman and Superman's secret identities? The movie doesn't explain it. How did he get information about the metahumans, and how did he get their logos? The movie doesn't explain it. Why does Lex need Batman and Superman to fight? The movie doesn't explain it. How does Lex know that aggravating Batman would make him fight Superman? The movie doesn't explain it. How does Lex know that Superman won't try to go save Martha instead of fighting Batman? The movie doesn't explain it. Why didn't Superman hear the bomb in the wheelchair before it went off? The movie doesn't explain it. Why did Lex need to make Doomsday instead of using the kryptonite and make weapons from it to fight Superman, similar to what Batman did? The movie doesn't explain it. How was he planning on containing or defeating Doomsday after he successfully kills Superman? The movie doesn't explain it. The only reason Doomsday was defeated at the end of the movie was because Superman stabbed him with the kryptonite spear. And Lex Luthor didn't seem to have any precautions for when that happens. Moving on. Clark sees on the news that there's a building on fire and a child is in danger. It felt very artificial. Like, yeah, Superman did save the child, but afterwards, he's not even making sure the child is okay. He's just standing there and staring at the distance for no reason. He's not even looking at the building behind him because the angle of what she's looking at is not looking at the building behind him. He's kind of looking off to the side here. This scene too, the family is on the roof of their flooded home trying to survive along with their neighbors, but Superman is floating up there, slowly descending from above, and no rush to save them. Diana follows Bruce around for no reason. How did she know that Bruce was after Lex's information? The movie doesn't explain it. How does she know Lex has the photo she took with Steve Trevor back in the First World War? The movie doesn't explain it. Fast forward now to the docks. Instead of trying to steal the kryptonite stealthily, Batman decides to kill a bunch of people using his Batmobile for no reason. In the beginning of the scene, the movie shows us that he placed a tracker in the truck, which makes this entire chase sequence a complete waste of time. Superman arrives and stops Batman, and he tells Batman that he should quit and then just leaves. He flies off. He doesn't confront Batman about the people that were killed or show any interest in why Batman was after these people in the first place. He just flies away and leaves Batman there. Fast forward to the court scene. As mentioned earlier in the video, somehow Superman doesn't hear the bomb go off, which causes the entire courtroom to be killed. And how does Superman react? Yeah, absolute stoicism. He doesn't even care that people in the courtroom are killed. An absolute character assassination of a scene. Fast forward once again to Lex admitting he took Martha and saying he won't let her go unless Superman kills Batman. I already mentioned why this is stupid and doesn't work, so I won't reiterate. But why does Superman let Lex get into the helicopter? Why doesn't he just destroy the propellers to prevent Lex from leaving? Also, Superman can fly very fast. He has more than enough time to go into the warehouse and save his mother and leave. Why would he need to go fight Batman? Superman goes to Gotham and fights Batman after saying this absurd, disastrous line.
No one stays good in this world.
I won't even dignify that with a comment. Fight happens for no clear reason. Superman at any point in this fight could have picked up Batman and forced him to listen instead of walking slowly towards him and be like, Bruce, please, you have to listen. The life of Superman's mother is on the line and Superman is wasting time. Does he not care about his mother at all? Batman has the upper hand, and the only reason he doesn't kill Superman is because Superman said save Martha, and it just so happened that Bruce's mother was also named Martha. Is Batman going to kill Superman if Superman's mother was a different name? Such a stupid scene. Somehow, though, this convinces Batman not to kill Superman, go find Superman's mother, save her, then rejoin Superman and Wonder Woman to fight against Doomsday. This scene was the scene that made Batman change his morals, somehow. The warehouse scene in general is pretty good, but again, the same issue with Batman killing people is present in this. I won't touch on the subject too long because I already talked about it and I won't reiterate it. Fast forward again, Wonder Woman joins them. Superman grabs the spear and manages to kill Doomsday somehow without having the kryptonite affect him personally. Superman dies, people mourn, the movie ends until it shows as dirt lifting from the coffin for a split second, indicating that Superman is still alive. Though I'm pretty sure that has been retconned now, so I'm not sure if this is a negative or if it shouldn't count. But that pretty much is the movie. I give this movie the same rating as Man of Steel on Letterboxd, as I think both are equally bad. Next movie review will be about the 2016 Suicide Squad movie, so make sure to subscribe to see that when it comes out. But with that out of the way, do you agree with my thoughts? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment sections, and I will go through and see what you guys have to say. If you want to see part 1 of this miniseries or the Man of Steel review, be sure to click here. It's not really a review, it's more of a rant than anything, but I think it still counts as a review. And that's all I have to say for today. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.